Mackenzie Blackwood in his first career Game 7. He started every game in this series, came over at midseason from San Jose and improved Colorado's goaltending. And at the other end of the ice, Jake Oettinger. Like Blackwood, he has started every game in this series. 2-1 in career Game 7s. And in the only loss, he made 64 saves in an incredible performance in an overtime loss to the Calgary Flames. In Calgary, Dan O'Rourke and Wes McCauley, the referee, Scott Cherry and Kyle Murchison are the linesmen. And Game 7 is underway. Cross ice pass. Val Nichushkin put it right on net, and Oettinger tested very early. Hintz sent it to the wall for Mikko Rantanen, who took a check. Now Nichushkin for Colorado, the former Dallas Star. Mikko Rantanen helped send it down the wall to Granlund. Centering try by Lyubushkin was blocked. Each team, as you look at the lineups, playing with the same 18 skaters who played in Game 6 in Denver 2 nights ago. A 7-4 come from behind win for the Avalanche to force this Game 7.
Colorado says everything in their game starts with pace. Dallas won the opening draw, and before Landeskog got in on the forecheck, Nelson found Nichushkin, and man, Jake Oettinger quick to the game with a nice stop early on.
There are the scratches for the Avalanche. Ross Colton played in Game 1 and got injured. Look at the Stars. That's their top line. They've been terrific in this series with 7 goals combined. Top 3 forwards on that first line for Dallas, all Finns. Cody Ceci out on defense now for the Stars with Esa Lindell out to center ice. Tyler Seguin had a hard time handling it, and it was swept in by Mason Marchment. Now Seguin centers one, and it's picked off by Devon Taves, sending Nathan MacKinnon away. One of the great skaters, one of the great players. Marty Necas a shot blocked down by Oettinger. Sent the length of the ice. Evgeny Dadonov trying to run it down. And now it's Cale Makar there to help Artturi Lehkonen. Makar hard around the glass. It went past Jack Drury. Dadonov battling on the far wall. Parker Kelly moved it toward the corner. Lyubushkin got knocked down. There'll be a penalty here against Colorado. Dadonov on the long hit ahead. To the boards for Jamie Benn. Dadonov with the net empty and the extra attacker on for Dallas. About to get a power play. Wyatt Johnston sent it into the corner. Rantanen passed it off to Johnston. Thomas Harley. Rantanen. Harley wrist one. And it wound up off the back wall through a crowd. Looked like Blackwood had a hard time seeing it. And now a holding penalty whistled against the Avs. And Parker Kelly, their 4th line left wing, going off for Jared Bednar. Clean face-off win by Roope Hintz. Harley up top. Now Matt Duchene down low. It got tipped wide. Harley kept it in. Duchene in behind for Rantanen. Hintz trying to set up out in front. Makar and Taves killing the penalty. Into the front of the net it went to Johnston. He had it deflected away. Rantanen, 10 years with the Avalanche, including the first half of this season. Now Harley. It gets tipped just wide by Johnston from the high slot. And the pass back to Harley popped over his stick.
Johnston plays in that bumper position. He's like Patrice Bergeron. He's that smart. He's clever with his stick.
He had 11 power play goals in the regular season to lead Dallas. They were middle of the pack in the regular year, 22%, 17th in the league. Rantanen quickly for Hintz. Off his stick and into the corner. Ryan Lindgren battled there for Colorado, couldn't win the puck. Rantanen with still 53 on the power play, and the pass is picked off and sent the length of the ice by Val Nichushkin.
Nichushkin does so much for the Avs when he's healthy. He is a difference maker there on the penalty kill, a good read and a clear down the ice.
Second power play group out now. Mikael Granlund sent it in deep, fell down for a moment. Taves around and not out. Mason Marchment stopped it. Lindell back into the corner. And now Marchment with some room. Big and powerful forward at 6'5". Lindell put it on net. Off Blackwood and off the back wall. 15 seconds on the Dallas power play. And now one shot on goal. Jamie Benn. Off for Granlund. Pestered by Lehkonen. Benn one touched it through Marchment. Cody Ceci a drive, and that got blocked. Blocked by Sam Malinsky, and that one stung him. Here's Granlund turning it back. The power play over. Blackwood had a shutout in Game 4 at Colorado. 23 saves. Ottinger will come out and play in the trapezoid. Now Harley swept it around. 23-year-old defenseman who's become their #1 defenseman. And he laid out Marty Necas near the blue line. They're playing again without Miro Heiskanen, one of the best defensemen in the world. He's been out for Dallas since late January when he suffered a knee injury in a game against Vegas. Had surgery in early February. He's working out. He's skating. They hope if they advance, they'll have him back in the next round. They hope the same for Jason Robertson, their leading goal scorer in the regular season, who got injured in the regular season finale. After playing in all 82 games in the regular season, he hasn't played in this series. Also a lower body injury. Josh Manson put it in behind. Lindell stopped it. Up for Dadonov. And kept in at the line. Shot back in. After it, Nichushkin. Bouncing puck at center for Taves. Here's Nichushkin again. Got taken into the boards along the near wall by Leon Bischel, the mammoth 20-year-old defenseman. 6'7", 231 pounds.
And they hoped he could play games for them. This year, he has just exploded onto the scene here in Dallas.
Sam Girard out on defense now, along with Makar. And Makar can't keep it in. More than 6 minutes gone by, no score. The shots are 2-2. Makar fanned on the pass. It's free at the red line and poked along by Hintz to Seguin. Knocked back down by Makar. Here's Artturi Lehkonen with McKinnon. McKinnon dropped it back. Bouncing puck handled by Necas, and that got stymied by Harley. Seguin. Tyler Seguin playing in his 10th career Game 7. That's more than any player on either team. His teams are 6-3.
And a little bit of a great story that Sagan's even back in this game, as he had hip surgery in December, had to come back from that.
At age 33, feels like he's been around forever. He won a Stanley Cup as a rookie in 2011 with Boston. He and Mikko Rantanen are the only players on the Dallas Stars who have won a Stanley Cup. They'd like to win one in a Dallas uniform. Certainly good enough to do it if they can get past this round. Likely bolstered going forward by the return of Heiskanen and Robertson. Here's Parker Kelly, part of a very good fourth line with Logan O'Connor, with Jack Drury centering it. O'Connor knocked it down along the wall, then Kelly got knocked off the puck by Bischel, who left Game 6. What looked to be a pretty serious injury after he had an awkward fall, went into the boards with Jack Drury on top of him. But he wound up returning for the third period.
Now that seemed totally unlikely, and then all of a sudden he's back in the lineup.
Puck free and played in. Josh Manson goes off. Harley a nifty move to shed the pressure of Brock Nelson. Here's a turnover to Landeskog. Try to get it to Nelson. And a good play by Alex Petrovic, part of the third defense pair for Dallas. Although out there at the moment with their best defenseman, Harley. Benn across the line. Off for Dadonov. Centering, hoping for Johnston. He got tied up at the goal mouth. Centering pass for Benn. That one got deflected by Lehkonen. Wyatt Johnston, the 21-year-old. Backhands one off the glove of Blackwood and into the corner. 4 minutes without a whistle, and now we have one for a penalty. As Nichushkin is face down on the ice near the net. And the officials are taking a look at him to see if there's blood. Dallas is going to be penalized. And Colorado will have its first power play.
Yeah, that's Jamie Benn that's going to get the penalty. The Dallas captain is going to attempt to go get the puck.
Dallas 14's got a double minor for high stick. Will be reviewed.
They fly all over the zone. The communication for Dallas's penalty killers is paramount against this Avs power play.
Power play has not been great in this series. One for the last 14, 3 for 19, and all 3 power play goals by Nathan MacKinnon, who has scored 6 goals total in these playoffs to lead the Stanley Cup playoffs so far. Clearing effort did not work as Dan O'Rourke, the referee, got hit by the puck. Here is MacKinnon, goes around Ceci, and a beautiful left pad save by Ottinger.
Man, that's got to be terrifying. When he gets ahead of steam like that, he can beat anybody to the outside. That time it was Cody Ceci.
MacKinnon has 10 points in the 6 games in this series. Only Connor McDavid has more points in the playoffs. He has 11. Down low, blocked by Ceci. Cross ice for Makar. Hintz got a stick on it. Right out in front, and good sticks on defense for Dallas as Landeskog was crashing from the weak side. Still 2:47 on the power play. Colorado was 8th in the NHL in the regular season on the power play. Just under 25%. Dallas, an excellent penalty killing team. They were 4th in the league in the regular year. Jonathan Drouin on now. Back to Taves. And across for Nichushkin. He got forced back by Colin Blackwell. Cross ice, and Harley gets a stick on it. Kinnon's 3 power play goals tie with Sebastian Aho, Kirill Kaprizov, and Andrei Kuzmenko for most in these playoffs. Makar headmans to MacKinnon. Drops for Necas. Landeskog and Lehkonen complete the power play for Jared Bednar. Down low, trying to stuff it, Necas. Ottinger held the post. They've killed more than half of the 4 minutes, have the Stars. Ceci shot at the length of the ice, and 4 new penalty killers on for Dallas. Makar dropped it back for MacKinnon. With speed right up the middle. Now Necas. Back for Makar. Pressured by Johnston. He spun away from him. Johnston and Hintz, Harley, and Lyubushkin killing the penalty for Dallas. Makar walks right down, and it wound up off the back wall. Necas let it go by for MacKinnon. Pressured by Lyubushkin. Lehkonen. Back for Makar. Nearing 1 minute left on this 4-minute power play, and MacKinnon one-timed it wide of the short side. Makar. And now Landeskog, the captain of the Avalanche. Clearing try knocked down by Makar, prevented it from going the length of the ice. They try to counter quickly, but Colorado's in the midst of a change of personnel. Here's Granlund shorthanded, waiting for help, and it's well played defensively by Taves.
This has been a great 90 seconds for Dallas on the kill here. Fantastic work.
2 shots on goal, 5 shot attempts for Colorado in more than 3.5 minutes a man up. We're under 8 minutes to go, first period. It comes free to Nichushkin. Down low. It wound up going wide as Ottinger lunged out at him. Brock Nelson, rebound free. Charlie Coyle sent it toward the net. Wild scramble in the final seconds of this Colorado power play. Cross ice behind Nichushkin. Out of the box comes Benn as it's golfed the length of the ice by Blackwell. It'll be an icing call. These fans on their feet saluting the Dallas penalty kill.
What a blast of energy in a building that's already rocking. Jake Ottinger makes the stop here on Necas as he comes out on the short side. Nichushkin's going to come out of this pack. He's got Jonathan Drouin open there, but that's really well played by Blackwell to take that pass away and leave the shooter for Ottinger. Ottinger stretches out at 6'5", and Nichushkin slides it wide of the post. An excellent penalty kill under pressure for the Dallas Stars.
Manson had it deflected by Benn up high. Here's Duchesne off for Benn. Benn playing in his 109th playoff game tonight. All of them for Dallas in his 16th season with the Stars at age 35. Their captain. Now Mason Marchment. And it's taken back in the neutral zone by Jack Drury, who sent it into the right wing corner. Harley first there. And it's played out by Tyler Seguin. Malinsky got there ahead of Marchment. Ryan Lindgren out of defense now with Malinsky. They're the third pair for the Avalanche. Ceci, who played in the Stanley Cup final last year for Edmonton, played it ahead. Rantanen on the backhand.
He must have lots of cool things happen to him.
It's not like he filled the net during his time with Dallas. 16 goals in parts of 4 seasons with the Stars. Then he has 3 in a game 7, including the overtime game winner. And as Emily said, wasn't supposed to play, was a healthy scratch in the first 6 games.
Matt Duchesne for Dallas, a really quiet series. Neither of them have scored. They could be a player that jumps here in game 7.
So many connections between these two teams. Matt Duchesne was on the face-off, another former Colorado Avalanche. Mason Marchment tried to center. Looked like Ryan Lindgren got a stick on it. And now Charlie Coyle came over at the trade deadline for the Boston Bruins. It's amazing how dramatically Colorado remade its team during the season. Icing is the call against Dallas.
I talked about the Dallas penalty kill and how they needed to be solid communicators to kill the Colorado power play. Look at how they move in unison. A push by the defenseman goes out. Blackwell goes backwards into the slot. Now each pass is challenged. There's no easy lane for Colorado at all on that power play.
Carr tried to glove it down at the line. It's retrieved by Devon Taves. Taves, his longtime running mate. Now Necas on the move. Another who came over during the year by a big trade from Carolina. Necas, a crisp pass from McKinnon. Back to the line. Taves blasts one off the back glass. Makar pinched in deep. He got rattled by Benn. And Bichsel played it off. Bichsel has it back out with Petrovic on the third defense pair for the Stars. Under 5 minutes to go. First period. No score in game 7. There'll be one more game 7 in the first round tomorrow. St. Louis is at Winnipeg, and the winner of these 2 game 7s will play each other in the second round of the Western Conference playoffs. Parker Kelly in hard on the forecheck, double teamed on the back wall. Jack Drury picks it up. He was a part of that trade from Carolina, along with Necas, that sent Mikko Rantanen to the Hurricanes for about a month and a half. Girard, that's knocked down by the arm of Ottinger and cleared out by Cody Ceci. Girard with his former teammate Rantanen closing in quickly, tipped into the zone by O'Connor. A rolling puck for Lyubushkin. Well-traveled defenseman. 6 teams in the last 5 years for Ilya Lyubushkin. Malinsky playing in the playoffs for the first time in his career. Brock Nelson got it in deeper. Lyubushkin around for Blackwell. And his pass, Lindgren deflected it, and then they're offside.
Well, we had a couple good looks. I mean, the pressure's coming, I think, on their penalty kill and in their D zone. We did a nice job getting, working underneath them a couple times and getting it to the net front all alone once there with Val. Couldn't capitalize, but that's the way it goes. Both teams with a big kill already, and both teams also with an offensive zone penalty, which isn't ideal. So got to keep going here 5-on-5.
Thank you, Jared.
You bet.
Jared Bednar said this morning the key for the Avs is pace. They want to take advantage of their skating ability, have it be a fast-paced game. They haven't really been able to get it going up and down to their liking.
I would say that's an advantage for Dallas. That's the way they want to play.
Sam Steele, fourth line on. He threw it on the net, and then the follow-up fanned on by Beck. Harley put it on net off the pad of Blackwood. Played ahead by Manson. Too far ahead of Brock Nelson, and icing is the call against the Avalanche. The second round series between Carolina and Washington comes your way Tuesday from our nation's capital on ESPN. The first round to complete this game 7 tonight. St. Louis at Winnipeg tomorrow. And then the final 8 will be determined for these Stanley Cup playoffs. Arturi Lehkonen off for Necas. Makar has some room. His shot through a screen went wide. Duchesne pressured up high. Makar bothered by Seguin. Free in the corner for Harley. 23-year-old from Syracuse, New York. He's had a career year. 50 points. He was plus 32 in the regular season. 10th best in the NHL. Ben into the corner. Lehkonen is there for Colorado. Nearing 2.5 minutes to go. In a low shot total first period. 9 combined. 5 for Colorado. Johnston for Lindell. Had trouble with the puck. Logan O'Connor took it away. Then Lindell hampered his attempt to pass it off.
Low shots, little room in the middle of the ice, not much in the rush attempt game. That all is a benefit and a positive for Dallas here in this first period.
Malinsky overskated the puck and then slid down. But here's O'Connor trying to power to the net front. Bischel wrote him off, as he is wont to do at his size. And then he pushed down Parker Kelly behind the net. Kelly goes down again, this time looking at the officials, hoping for a penalty call from Wes McCauley. He didn't get it. Parker took a sturdy check from Petrovic. A minute 35 in the period. Granlund, nice addition to the Dallas roster during the season. Both teams added very important players during the season, knowing that they are Stanley Cup contenders, trying to make their teams even stronger. Back in on the forecheck, didn't get the puck. Lindgren had it poked away by Steele. A minute 5 in the period. Good work by this fourth line for Dallas. Steele battling McKinnon in the corner. Lindgren poked it around. And a good check delivered against the far wall by Blackwell. Colorado in the midst of a line change. Nichushkin. That's deflected, no icing. Taves will race after it with 35 in the period. Nelson taking off the puck, has it back, then fanned as he tried to feed McKinnon. Seguin, now Duchesne, a good stick by Taves to poke that away. Makar surveying the options with the period winding down. Landeskog didn't get it in deep, cleared out by Lindell. Skated back by Nichushkin, 5 seconds in the period. Nichushkin hoping for a tip from Girard, and that's the period. Well, we talked about Pete DeBoer's comment about Game 7s. There's the unknown. Ray, 19 goals combined in the last 2 games of this series. 0, obviously, in the first period, just 9 shots. Are you surprised? Do you think that'll change as we go to the second period?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to end up 5-4, but I do think the game will spread a little bit. Certainly Colorado wants to stretch out the Dallas defense if they can. Nate McKinnon really didn't have much off the rush in that first period. We saw the one chance on the power play. Dallas will want to keep the game compacted. Roope Hintz is one player that can really skate. Had a tremendous second period in Game 6.
Had 4 points in that period to tie an NHL playoff record. ESPN Bets, the official sportsbook of ESPN, an official partner of the NHL. Mikko Rantanen also had 4 points in that period. The second period of Game 6. They're the only teammates in NHL playoff history each to have 4 points in the same period. Nichushkin off for Landeskog. Off it goes for Nelson. His shot blocked by Harley. I think some of the combatants thought it went out of the rink. It did not. And here comes Mikael Granlund trying to split some defenders. Trying to end that long Game 7 drought that goes back to 2002. Cody Ceci couldn't clear it. Marty Natchez around for McKinnon. He couldn't stop it. Here's Jamie Benn ahead for Wyatt Johnston. Sent it in wide, plays the carom, centered one, and Ben got tied up by Arturi Lehkonen. Johnston couldn't center it. Now with some speed, Devon Taves at age 31 turned it over in a bad spot. Dadonov has Johnston with him. Makar back and McKinnon. And it winds up on the stick of Cale Makar. 30 goals in the regular season to lead all defensemen. 92 points. And he's averaged better than a point per game in his playoff career. Sam Malinsky back on it. Tyler Seguin stumbled awkwardly into the corners. He went in on the forecheck. Played up by Jack Drury. And now Parker Kelly. Into the zone. Bischel on it. He gets taken to the back wall by Logan O'Connor. More than 2 minutes played, second period, no score. O'Connor. Lyubushkin and Harley, the defense pairing now for Dallas. Josh Manson came up to break up the play at center ice. Tried to get away from Lyubushkin. And the pass back to the point was aerial, and Ryan Lindgren couldn't bat it down. Another trade addition to Colorado during the regular season. Another is Charlie Coyle. Of the 20 players dressed tonight for the Avalanche, only 3 of them were drafted by Colorado. Landeskog, McKinnon, and Makar, not a bad trio. 11 came via trade. The others free agents, 6 of them. Dump and chase for Oscar Beck. 25-year-old rookie playing in the playoffs for the first time. Here's Nichushkin, played it back for Girard. Dropped it off for a shot by Nelson that got struck in the circle and fluttered into Ottinger, who hung on. And Pete DeBoer in Game 7's 8-0, the most consecutive wins in Game 7s all time. It's also the most all time without a loss. And only Daryl Sutter has as many as 8 wins in Game 7s. His record is 8-3.
He is a good coach. When they lost Game 1, I ran into Brendan Dillon from the New Jersey Devils. He said, Pete'll get them squared away for Game 2. He did. They're back in it. Now it's in Game 7.
Coaching his 5th NHL team. Florida, New Jersey, San Jose, Vegas, and now Dallas. 662 regular season wins. There's a bouncing puck that came right out in front onto the stick of Dadonov. And that is iced. Off the draw comes right to Matt Duchene. Forced back by Lehkonen. Crowding of the net by the green-clad Stars.
They just can't spring it loose yet.
Petrovic looking for a tip from Marchment, didn't get it. And there's Jack Drury with some room. Manson put it on net. A rebound was at the feet of Parker Kelly. Petrovic got in the way. And now Drury pries it loose. Nice pass back to the line. Lindgren. That carried off Duchene, fluttered wide. Took a while to come off the back wall. Drury played it to Kelly. Down low for O'Connor. Couldn't handle the pass. Bischel's there now for Dallas. 15.5 to go, second period. Still no score. All 3 forwards there for Colorado. With 3 stars, it comes free to O'Connor. Managed to find Manson up high. Poked away by Seguin. And Manson under pressure had to send it back to the goal line. Played there by Blackwood. Nate just lost it at center ice. Hintz off for Granlund. Top line on for Dallas. A soft backhander handled.
Natchez, who was really quiet in the first part of the series, has had a couple of points in Games 5 and 6 to get going a bit.
It took some of the players in this series a while to get going. Nichushkin blocked the shot up high by Lyubushkin. That's tough to say consecutively. Nichushkin and Lyubushkin. Granlund.
No damage.
No damage. It came out eventually. Now Hintz. Stayed up on the dasher for a moment. Harley down low, all alone. Granlund stopped. He couldn't lift the puck with Blackwood sprawling at him.
Granlund had a breakaway goal in Game 6 as well. This puck is going to go around the boards, and as you mentioned, Sean, it stays up on the dasher, so Landeskog can't get to it. He's kind of chasing it around the end, but Blackwood reads the deke. Watch the right pad go right to the goal post. There's nowhere for Granlund to sweep it around, and because he's at the length of his stick, as far as he can reach, he's not going to be able to wedge it over the goal pad on Blackwood. That's a good stop, a good read.
Face-off controlled by Dallas. Duchesne tried to send it down low. Marchment out in front. He was tied up by Malinsky. A lot of bumping right in front of the Colorado net. Yoel Kiviranta dump and chase. Donovan Drouin in on the forecheck. Now Duchesne the counter with Marchment and Harley coming. Duchesne had it deflected out of the rink by Samuel Girard.
Back here in Dallas with Pete DeBoer, Game 7, number 9 for you, so that you know the lack of time and space. Pretty common. What's the best way to get through it?
Well, you know, you just got to keep grinding. You got to stay patient. I mean, the first goal is obviously a big one here tonight when teams are playing like this. There's not a lot of room out here. I love our detail. I like our commitment here to our game plan, so we just got to stick with it, Emily.
What are some of the details you liked?
Well, I like our tracking. I like how we're shutting down some of their rush. We're not giving them a lot of room. Last game, we gave them way too much room all over the ice.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, Colorado got 7 in Game 6. Avalanche had to come from behind in the third period to force this Game 7. They trailed at 1.4 to 3. They got a couple of empty net goals. That was sent right on net. Now Lindgren the follow-up after Manson forced Ottinger to kick one out. Ropey Hintz on it. And now Harley with some room as Colorado retreats through the neutral zone. 13.5 to go, second period. Josh Manson out on defense with Ryan Lindgren.
Manson's been up in the play 3 or 4 times in the second period. Not a player you would expect to do that.
Not just one goal in the regular season. He does have one here in this series. It was one of those empty net goals in Game 6. Johnston a drive. Knocked down by Blackwood. He couldn't corral it. Well, the rebound was swept from Harm. Now it's back in Harm. And backhanded on by Ben. And a dandy by Blackwood. Wedged in by Malinsky. A race for it. Lekin in there. Not a lot of help yet in the offensive zone. They were in the midst of a change. Taves has some room, as does McKinnon. Sends it wide to the short side. Hard off the back wall. But Makar, who crashed, couldn't one-touch it out in front. Here's Johnston with help coming. Down low. Dodonov had some space and couldn't tip it.
Man, the Stars with 2 rush chances. Colorado can't get any rush game going. The Stars are the one with the better chances off the rush.
Ceci. That scaled around the dasher for a moment. Played around by Beck. Petrovic kicked out by Blackwood. And the rebound to O'Connor. Colorado would like to see this game get moving up and down. 12 minutes to go, second period. Sam Steele snapped it in. Makar chipped it up the wall. Good stick by Kelly to hold off Steele. And now it's Lindgren. Came over from the New York Rangers. The Minnesota native dumped it into the corner. Drury doing the work along the wall. Steele off the stick of Blackwell, who scored the game-winning goal here in overtime in Game 2. His first playoff goal for this franchise. And it came as a game winner in overtime. Wedged in by Steele. They changed. That was the 4th line for Dallas. Jonathan Drouin missed a lot of time during the regular season due to injury. Free behind the net, now in front of the net and smothered by Jake Ottinger. As Lindell carries. Headmans for Granlund. They tried to send Hintz in. Penalty here.
70 Colorado's got a minor interference.
Now 5 for 20 in the series, a man up. Controlled by Makar, spins away from Hintz and sends it down. Played by Ottinger. Harley will try to get the power play set up. We're nearing the midpoint of game 7 and still no score. And this time it's Taves lofting it the length of the rink. Harley with Hintz, Rantanen, Duchesne. Drop back, played by O'Connor, who has the only shorthanded goal in this series. He centers one. They score! Shorthanded! Josh Manson makes it 1-0 Colorado.
I mentioned a few moments ago, 3 or 4 times in this second period, Josh Manson, of all people, has been up in the play trying to create some offense. A poor entry into the zone by Hintz. O'Connor takes off with his terrific speed, and nobody gets to Manson coming up the middle of the ice. Duchesne is late. The pass from O'Connor is right on the tape, and Josh Manson has an empty net goal in game 6. He's got the shorthanded goal in game 7, and the Avs have a 1-0 lead.
In 1 goal in 48 games in the regular season, now goals in back-to-back games. Dallas still on the power play for another minute 5. Good work by Makar to anticipate that pass. Now Granlund. Very sluggish power play here for Dallas.
That'll take a lot of the confidence out of your team as you give up to Shorty. Now you've got to go and try and get it back, and you just lose a little zip for a moment here.
Manson's had 3 shorthanded goals in his career in the regular season. More than 600 regular season games. Harley with 35 on the power play. Harley has a lot of room up top. Off it goes. Seguin didn't get much on the one-timer. Parker Kelly didn't get it out. Harley hustled to the near wall. 20 seconds on the power play. Makar and Seguin. Bouncing puck for Ben. Seguin back to Harley. Into the corner it goes. Marchment. Power play running out. That one Karam's just wide. Nichushkin tried to wind up and clear it. Granlund hindered that. They still skate it down the ice. Taves dumps it in. Malinsky's out of the box. Colorado back to full strength. They have the first goal of this game, and it comes shorthanded. Manson from O'Connor at 9:50 of this, the second period. Tough angle shot went wide. Up in the neutral zone, Rantanen off for Johnston, ahead for Hintz. Working on Malinsky, tried to center for Johnston, well tied up by Girard. Rantanen got it deeper. Johnston kept it alive for Dallas. Now Petrovic pinches in. Shoved it away from Necas. Johnston a spin move to get away from Girard, who fell down. Then the pass is blocked by Lehkonen. Ceci pinched in. Good pressure by Dallas. And Malinsky just wants to get it out. Turned it back over to Johnston at the red line. Necas and Hintz. Hintz up the wall, but a couple of Avs there. And both teams in the midst of a line change now. Girard back on it. Here's Nichushkin. Too far ahead of Landeskog, and that will be icing.
The Avs have the 1-0 lead on the road.
Bouncing puck for Nichushkin, poked away by Harley. Duchesne for Marchment. Good forechecking. Landeskog poked it in wide of Ottinger. Landeskog returned for game 3 after missing nearly 3 full years with a knee injury, and he's been excellent. Nelson's shot. Karam's off the back glass. Pitched along by Harley. Pitching in Lindgren, looking for help. Nichushkin up the glass. Landeskog on the forecheck. Returned for game 3 and led the Avalanche with hits with 6. Jared Bednar said he could not believe how it seemed Landeskog just picked up where he left off last played game 6 in Tampa Bay when they won the Stanley Cup. Manson played it down low behind Lindgren. Colorado changing its forward line. McKinnon just came on. The advance by Duchesne. He dumps it in after a long shift. Lindgren to center ice. Nicely touched off by McKinnon. Lehkonen stopped on the advance by Lindell. Necas there. Had a terrific year. Career high 83 points for Marty Necas, 28 of them in 30 games after he came over in that stunning trade from Carolina with Jack Drury in the deal that sent Rantanen to the Canes before they moved him on here to Dallas. Drouin trying to center. Drouin dropped it back and Makar shot it wide. Taves into the corner. Charlie Coyle back to the line. Point to point, Taves to Makar. Makar, that gets deflected a couple of times. A backhand right on. Kiviranta managed to get a shot on even though he was tied up in the slot.
That was a great stop out of the traffic by Ottinger to keep this a 1-0 game.
Ottinger just 26 years old, but loaded with playoff experience. Ceci banked it to the near side, played up by Nelson. Landeskog. This has been a good line since they got put together in this series. Gerard. That hit a skate. It was Ceci who sent it toward the near corner. Landeskog in his return in game 3 played on the third line. Then Jared Bednar moved him up here with Nelson and Nichushkin, and they've been excellent. Gerard headmans to the red line. Kelly dropped it off to O'Connor. Down low, hoping for a tip from Kelly. Ottinger stopped it. Drury in the corner for Colorado. Under 5 minutes to go, down to 4:17 now, second period. 1-0 Avalanche on a shorthanded goal by Josh Manson. Here's Granlund in the corner. Wrapped up by Drury. Makar. Got it ahead for Kelly. Taves drops it back. Drury sent it toward the net. Off Ottinger to the back wall. O'Connor sent it to the side of the net. Ottinger not quite sure where it is as Drury was battling Hintz. And now a whistle, and now some pushing and shoving and some punches being thrown. And that's brought the crowd to life for one of the few times tonight as the home team has just 9 shots on goal late in the second period. Any team in the NHL during the regular season. Manson just 39 career goals in the regular season in 626 games. Taves trying to take it away from Dadonov. The 36-year-old Russian centered. It went off a skate and rolled right into the net.
Dallas just can't manufacture anything. I guess at some point you're going to miss Heiskanen and Robertson, and now they got to find a way back into the game.
Lindell shoots it in. Marchment out in front for Sagan. Taves got his stick in the way. Nate just went diving to clear it. 3 minutes to go, second period, game 7, the winner on the second round. And the loser is going to have its season end. Despite 100+ points in the regular season. 4th straight year, Colorado's had 100 points or more. And the 8th straight year in the playoffs under Jared Bednar. Nichushkin got knocked down in the neutral zone. Snapped in by Lyubushkin. Manson there. 2 stars there, and now 3 as Hintz approached. Swept away. Landeskog got it to Nichushkin. It came hard off the back wall to the net front. Harley in the right place. Roope Hintz the counter. He dumped it in and he went off. Rantanen and Gerard. Hintz advanced it for Steele. This is a mismatch line for Dallas. Steele Got stood up and actually wound up going down to the ice, shoved by Girard. Petrovic had it deflected by Drouin. Tough angle play. Went across the goal mouth from Rantanen. Now Petrovic rebound, batted wide by Steele. A minute 40 in the second period. Malinsky shot it in. Played his college hockey at Cornell. Played ahead and shot back in. Harley for Petrovic. Johnston held up the stick of Manson so he couldn't play it. Blackwell flying in on the forecheck. Kelly got bounced into the near boards by Johnston. Petrovic checked O'Connor. Drury went in and nudged Ceci. Osterbeck jammed the brakes on. Johnston set up out in front, but the puck's taken away by Manson. Hoping O'Connor can run under it. Ceci back there. Under a minute to go in the period. 50 seconds now. And the free puck flipped out by Lindell. One of 4 Finns dressed for Dallas tonight. They can extend the season, and Heiskanen returns. They'll have 5 who hail from Finland. Touched in by McKinnon. Ottinger moved it into the corner. Now Makar, nice move to fake out Duchesne, get a shot off from the top of the circle, had plenty on it. McKinnon on the forecheck, trying to prevent any other opportunities for Dallas here in the second period. 10 seconds in the period. Lehkonen shot it in. And Colorado's going to take a 1-0 lead into the third period of Game 7 of this first round series in the West. Game 7s haven't been kind to Colorado the last couple of decades, but they lead 1-0 in this one heading to the third period on a shorthanded goal by Josh Manson. Just 10 shots on goals for Dallas through the first 2 periods. Ray Ferraro only 1 of those in the last 13 minutes of the second period. What's it going to take for either side to sustain some offense?
Well, it looks right now like that each team has concerned themselves so much with the way they want to check in the game, and that nobody's really let it loose yet. Now Mikko Rantanen's got 1 shot in the game, a little chip backhander in the first period. Dallas needs to get the puck behind the Colorado defense. They have to forecheck. They're not a creative team that's going to score without Heiskanen and Robertson very easily.
The Nichushkin line is on for Colorado with Nelson in the middle and Landeskog on the other wing. Off the glass. And Nichushkin's on it. There's a penalty coming here against Dallas. Blackwood's out. McKinnon attacks and scores! Nathan McKinnon makes it 2-0 Avalanche.
This was going to be a Jamie Benn tripping penalty, and because the goaltender comes out of the net, Nathan McKinnon is going to come off the bench unimpeded, undetected, and unstoppable. McKinnon's going to come from the top end of your screen. As the puck will come back around, here comes McKinnon. Open, around Wyatt Johnston, and remember on the first period on the power play, McKinnon had that same rush. Ottinger shut down the near post. That time, McKinnon squeaks it in. He's got 7 goals in the series. It's 2-0 Avs. See everybody waving to the goaltender to Blackwood. Come on, there goes McKinnon off the bench, and he's coming with a full head of steam. There's no chancer for Wyatt Johnston, and Ottinger doesn't get himself squeezed on the post. The puck finds the hole, and that's an enormous 2-0 lead for Colorado.
In the opening seconds of the second period. Here's Hentz. That's off Makar into the corner, taken by Taves. Up the wall, a bouncing puck for CC. He couldn't keep it in as Natchez got it out. At the line, Petrovic. Bischel put it on net, bouncing high in the air. Played off. Duchesne. Stopped.
Duchesne's still looking for his first of the series.
Here's Logan O'Connor, who assisted on the Manson shorthanded goal. He's a terrific penalty killer. He scored their first shorthanded goal of this series. Here's Parker Kelly now. Took a hit from Harley, got it off to Jack Drury, sent it off the side of the net. Drury trying to work it out in front again. He's frozen against the back of the net. Dallas has come from behind twice in this series when trailing after 2 periods. In games 2 and 3, both wound up being overtime wins. Charlie Coyle sent it behind the net. Played back to the line by Drouin. Lindgren pressured up high by Rantanen. Coyle couldn't squeeze it. He and back battle. Drouin played it back to the line to Manson. That's off Ottinger. A bit of a sloppy rebound there, given up by Jake. Drouin sent it in deep. Great pressure by Colorado. They've owned the first 2.5 minutes plus of this third period, including the goal by McKinnon, his 7th of the playoffs from Lindgren and Nichushkin. There's a takeaway by Beck. Beck centers one, hoping for a tip by Johnston. Ceci.
A terrific stop.
Off the face-off, lofted out by Taves. Nichushkin with Landeskog trying to stay onside. Nichushkin carried it back across the line and then got dumped. Dadonov, at age 36, the oldest player dressed tonight. Eric Johnson's 37, played in a couple of games in this series for Colorado. Sent in the air by Makar under the stick of Landeskog. Into forecheck on Petrovic. Rantanen swept it ahead, hoping for Granlund. Instead, it's Brian Lindgren. And now Josh Manson, son of Dave Manson, long time NHL defenseman. Dave scored a goal in a game 7 during his long career in 1990 for Chicago against St. Louis. He played in 3 game 7s.
I'm going to guess that Dave beat somebody up in a game 7 too.
Probably had more than one of those. Josh was born in the Chicago suburbs when his dad played for the Blackhawks. Steele ahead for Marchment. You can feel the anxiety in the crowd here as the time is ticking away. At center ice. Still free. Here's Duchesne into the corner. Gerard first there behind the net. Now played around by Malinsky. Ceci missed the net. O'Connor won a Stanley Cup with the Avalanche. She won an NCAA national championship at the University of Denver. It's already been a big night in Colorado. The Nuggets at Ball Arena in Denver tonight beat the Los Angeles Clippers to win that series in 7 games. The Avs trying to make it a double tonight. Charlie Coyle, 13 seasons in the NHL, 13 times in the playoffs. Minnesota, Boston, and now Colorado. Nichushkin just on, started his career here in Dallas. Nowhere near the scorer he has been since he got to Colorado, bothered by a hip injury early in his career as a star. Manson again toward the net.
And Dallas is going to have to start to push a bit. We talked a little earlier. Think of Thomas Harley getting up in the play. The youngster averaging 28 minutes a game in this series without Heiskanen. He's got to find the energy. They need him to create something here. He's the one Dallas defenseman that can do that.
He's averaged 28 minutes, 19 seconds entering tonight. Second most in the entire playoffs. Brian Dumoulin in New Jersey, the only one who averaged more time on ice. And New Jersey had all kinds of injuries to its defensemen. Had a couple of games.
Harley's hurt.
Yeah, he went crashing into the boards and grabbing at his legs. Colorado leading Dallas 2-0. Here's Marty Necas. Setting up shot behind the net. Centers one. Taves blasted one over the net. He had Lehkonen screening out in front. Saves again. That hit Lehkonen. Karen very close to McKinnon, who has it back from Lehkonen. Natchez with Hintz defending. McKinnon. Makar. Saved up high by Ottinger. Good pressure by Colorado, not sitting on this 2-0 lead. Seguin won the face-off from Drury. And Malinsky back on it. Bischel went pinching in, couldn't play it. Linesman deemed he could have, so no icing. Petrovic rolls all the way down to Blackwood. He left it for Malinsky. Marchman in hard on the forecheck, as is Duchesne. And the clear goes by Petrovic. Played in only 5 games in the regular season for Dallas. Spent most of the year with their affiliate, the Texas Stars of the AHL. And that's a long year in the AHL when you're 33 years old, as Petrovic is, but he hung with it, and now he's in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
He becomes one of those players that takes a leadership role in the American League. They know they've got him for depth, but who thinks he's going to play as much as he has and as well as he has in this series? He's done a really nice job.
He's played in all 6 in the series, now all 7. After playing in just 5 in the regular season, 58 in the AHL. Back for Rantanen. Rantanen, all kinds of room! He scores! Mikko Rantanen has Dallas on the board.
Mikko Rantanen scored 34 goals in 81 playoff games for the Avs. Look at the patience to walk across the slot to shoot it. Sam Steele goes right through Lehkonen and Lindgren. He pushes those Colorado defenders back, and Rantanen gets to get in nose to nose on Blackwood. He beats him clean. We got a game now.
And the crowd is alive. 37 career playoff goals. Most of them, as Ray said, with Colorado. His 3rd in this series. He started very slowly against his former mates. Had only 1 point in the first 4 games of this series, none in the first 2. That 1 point was an assist. But he erupted in games 5 and 6 with 7 points combined. And he has the goal that has Dallas on the board. O'Connor kicked out. Follow stopped by Ottinger. Couple of big stops by Ottinger right after his team made it a 1-goal game. Slid in by Dadonov. Rantanen the goal from Beck at 7:49. Johnston off for Granlund. Rantanen again. Wide open, and the shot missed the net by Lyubushkin. It comes back to Lyubushkin. Granlund now. Many of the fans on their feet. Out in front.
And off the stick of Harley. He didn't get a lot on it and shrugs in disbelief after it was covered by Blackwood. He had a glittering chance to tie this game at 2.
At the start of the period, we said Rantanen's probably got to get involved here. He scores the goal to make it 2-1. And then he finds Harley back across the seam. The Avs, in a moment of panic, lose their defensive coverage. And Harley takes this puck. It's probably at 6 inches too far, and it hits halfway up his blade. If it's flat, he gets more on it. And we might have a tie game. The Stars are pushing now.
Big minutes again tonight for Harley. You have to think there's some fatigue. It's the 7-game series. Here's Kiviranta, ridden behind the net by Petrovic and trying to escape. Manson, point-to-point Lindgren. A nice pass to McKinnon on his goal. Coyle cannot shed Hintz. Coyle put it back behind the net. Petrovic got it. Great work by the Avalanche to keep the puck in the offensive end. But this place is bedlam now after the Rantanen goal. Granlund Good work by Nelson on the back check from behind. Ceci scales it around. More than midway through the third period now in game 7. 2-1 Colorado. Trying to end a string of 6 straight losses in game 7s.
Pete DeBoer said about his Stars, they've never made an excuse with the injuries that they have to the people they have out. They just keep fighting away, and now they push themselves back in.
Crowd wanted a penalty on MacKinnon. They're not going to get it. Looked like a bit of a dive from here. Sagan and MacKinnon held each other up. Duchesne lost it, and now there will be a penalty on Duchesne as Necas went sprawling. Both officials threw their arm in the air for this one. Power play for Colorado, trying to build on a 2-1 lead. Approaching 9 minutes to go in game 7. Duchesne off for tripping. Colorado's 0 for 2 tonight. They had a 4-minute power play and a double minor against Jamie Benn back in the first period. Makar down low. Landeskog had trouble with it, had some room to walk along the goal line. Bouncing puck, gobbled up by Landeskog. A blind backhand. Ceci has a great chance to clear and does.
The way to defend Colorado is to try and get them on the entry so they don't get into the zone and get on the wheel where they start just roaming around the zone. Difficult to do because here comes MacKinnon with speed.
Landeskog played it back for Makar. Down to 1:10 of the power play. Johnston got a stick on it. Colorado retained possession. Makar. MacKinnon running out of room in the zone, pestered by Johnston. Landeskog. Makar broke his stick on a one-timer. Now he has to defend Hintz without a stick. Ropey Hintz couldn't drag it around. Stars fans want a penalty. They're going to get it. Hintz went crashing into the goal. Wes McCauley way behind the play. Calls a tripping penalty, and meanwhile, Necas is face down on the far boards.
Number 8, Colorado, a minor trip.
McCauley's got the best look at this, even though he's behind the play. The other official, Dan O'Rourke, is down in the corner. Everybody chasing up on the ice when Makar's stick explodes. Hintz, who can really go, is out in the open ice. The penalty will be Makar's right leg as he trips up Hintz. And then you see at the top of your screen, Necas lost his balance and went slamming into the boards. So Hintz creates the 4-on-4. The Dallas penalty kill does their job again. And as Makar wanders across the ice to the penalty box, at the end of this, Dallas will have 1:13 of power play time to try and tie the game.
Finalist again this year for the Norris Trophy as the best defenseman for the 5th year in a row, Cale Makar. So it's Lindgren out there in this 4-on-4 with Girard, the defenseman. Marchment using his big body to hold off Girard. 7:45 to go. 2-1 Colorado. 4-on-4. Nichushkin drops it back. Lots of room. Girard caroms off a couple of sticks and got sent away from the goal front by Lindell. And Girard and the Avalanche will regroup. Duchesne is out in 10 seconds. And then the power play for Dallas. O'Connor. Nice touch off for Kelly. Hands it back. O'Connor. And a stop by Ottinger. Duchesne's out of the box at the Dallas power play now for 1:10. Taves sends it in. The crowd roaring, sensing this could be the moment. Dallas ties it. The opportunity on the power play. But it's O'Connor again shorthanded. He has help coming. It was Manson again, but O'Connor got knocked off the puck. Numbers the other way for the Stars. Hintz stopped by Lindgren. Well played by Lindgren. Manson, a good stick lift on Duchesne, who got his stick back, but sent it back to an empty point. And the time ticking off, the Stars man advantage. And off the clock here in the third period. Rantanen again. Rantanen scores! Off the skate of Girard. The former Colorado Avalanche star has scored twice to tie it for Dallas.
Rantanen comes with such power and speed. He catches Lindgren flat-footed. So he goes through that opening into the zone, and the puck hits the skate of Sam Girard. Back-to-back goals in the third period for Mikko Rantanen. An amazing turn of events. The ex-Avalanche has tied this game for his new team, a season that has been all over the map for him. And Rantanen has made it 2-2 here in Dallas.
He has come to life. 9 points in the last 3 games. And both goals here in the third period to tie it for Dallas. Against the team for which he toiled for 10 years.
2-1 in Game 7. Mikko Rantanen shot deflects off of Sam Girard. Both coaches talked about the minuscule difference between the two teams. There were 2 bounces in Game 6 and 7, and we're no further along with 6 minutes left.
Yeah, Colorado had some great puck luck, including that goal that clanged in off Blackwell to give them the lead. And now the favor has been returned, and it's all Dallas as we approach 5.5 minutes to go. Down 2-0 early in this period, but Rantanen has scored twice. Tricky bouncer, and Ottinger taking no chances, smothers it with 5:24 to go. The most recent goal, Rantanen, his second of the night, 4th of the series, all in the last 3 games from Harley and Duchesne at 13:46. They did add an assist for the Bushkin on the first Rantanen goal. Harley up to the line and cleared out by Rantanen, who's back out there with the top line for Dallas. The 3 Finns, Hintz in the middle with Granlund on the other wing. Brock Nelson. 5 minutes to go in Game 7. The winner to the second round to play the winner of the Game 7 tomorrow night between St. Louis and Winnipeg. And the loser will be an outstanding team that does not survive the first round. Rantanen again by himself. They're in the midst of a change. Hintz there now. Bischel is out there. Pete DeBoer as Bischel, the third pair defenseman, out at crunch time here. And Petrovic. That one's blocked by Manson. Interesting, the 20-year-old Bischel and Petrovic out there together. They all should be compelling matchups everywhere you look. One more to be determined. Petrovic. There's a penalty. Bodies went flying. There's a penalty. And who is it going against? It's going against Colorado. Jack Drury called for holding.
Colorado, minor penalty, 18. Holding.
Wow, 4:13 to go, and Dallas goes to the power play.
So after the last second power play goal by Mikko Rantanen tied the game at 2-2, Jack Drury's taken the face-off, and he's going to get called for the hold here as he tackles Tyler Seguin. Dallas back to the power play. Drury, one of the penalty killers in the box. And I guess you couldn't get a more critical time here and a chance for the Dallas power play.
Our rules expert Dave Jackson agrees with the call as Drury took down Seguin. Power play for Dallas. They just tied it. A man up, now trying to take the lead. Down low, Johnston scores! Wyatt Johnston with 3:56 to go.
This power play is perfectly executed. Duchesne leaves the slot right on top of the crease and goes across the seam to Wyatt Johnston from the acute angle. Johnston has the patience and poise of someone much more experienced. The youngster fires it into the empty net. 2 power play goals late in the third period. And stunningly, Dallas is a couple of minutes away from a win.
Down 2-0 in this period with nothing going all night long offensively. Johnston, just 21 years old, already a prolific playoff performer. Had the game-winning goal in Game 7 of the second round against Seattle a couple of years ago. Makar walks in. Makar tries to wrap around. And Ceci went diving in front of the puck. Now the pressure on Colorado, and they'll be pushing with 3:20 to go. Rantanen 2 goals, Johnston the other, the last 2 on the power play. Ottinger swept it away with Kelly on the forecheck. Johnston is third of the series from Duchesne. And Rantanen has been in on all 3 goals for Dallas. It has to be so painful for Colorado fans watching this.
So we see Johnston and Duchesne. Duchesne's right in front of the net. As soon as it goes to Rantanen, he pops out and becomes available. Rantanen goes down low. Now it becomes a 2-on-1 in front of the net. And when Coyle can't deny that pass across the front, Johnston slams it into the empty net. And the Dallas bench, Pete DeBoer, is fist pumping as is Steve Spott. And the Stars have a 3-2 lead with 3 left.
Off the draw, Girard, that went wide. Rantanen 10 years in Colorado, Duchesne the other assist, 8+ years in Colorado. Good pressure by the Avs. 2:35 to go. We'll keep an eye on Blackwood in the Colorado net. O'Connor back to the line, crisply across to Manson. That hit bodies out in front. Drury got shoved down from behind by Harley. Drury barking at Dan O'Rourke. He got called for that holding penalty. He thought he was cross-checked down from behind and seemed to have a point. Here's McKinnon now across the line. 2 minutes to go. The extra attacker on for Colorado. The net is empty. Lindell double team. The big guns are on the ice for the Avalanche. The puck comes free. Beck, Johnston. Good play by Nelson. Now Lehkonen for Necas. Circles back with 1:42 to go. McKinnon sent it right to Ottinger. Dropped it down. And it's played ahead but not out by Lindell. Landeskog for McKinnon. McKinnon sent it toward the net. Off Lindell to the back wall. 1:25 to go. 3-2 Dallas in Game 7. They were down 2-0. Have scored 3 unanswered goals. Steele doing the work that the crowd appreciates in the corner. Ceci there as well. Nelson won the puck. Along the near wall. Landeskog to Makar. In deeper for Nelson. Moved along by Landeskog under a minute to go. Necas, an easy one for Ottinger, although nothing is easy under this pressure. Nelson won it cleanly back to Makar. Has it back for McKinnon. That's off the stick of Rantanen. Natchez retrieved it. McKinnon with 42 seconds. Squeezed by Ottinger with Nichushkin at the goal mouth.
Well, we saw a little glimpse of how this play is going to, in theory, work for Colorado. If that puck comes to McKinnon, he's going to go straight across the slot. If it comes to Makar, he's going to the middle. McKinnon will dive up around the top of the circle for the pass back or the shot from Makar. The traffic will converge. It all works on the faceoff.
McKinnon, 35 seconds, has it back from Natchez. Makar to McKinnon. Johnston won't give him a passing lane. Natchez pressured by Steele. Makar down low. Landeskog. It caroms to Natchez. 20 seconds to go. McKinnon out in front and snatched by Ottinger. Colorado the last 11 shot attempts. Makar kept it in. Free puck. Lindell didn't get good wood on it, but Sagan got it out. Rantanen again! Unbelievable! A legendary performance by Rantanen against his former team.
In Game 6, Rantanen had 4 points in the second period. That was in a losing effort. This is unbelievable. 3 goals and an assist in the third period for Mikko Rantanen. I can't tell you what he said when he skated around here, but it was, how about that, Colorado, in a different way. What an unbelievable, satisfying feeling that must be for Rantanen. A devastating feeling for the Avs. And Dallas down 2-0 improbably does this at home. This is unbelievable. Mikko Rantanen, you sign him to a $100 million contract, you get this, it's 2-1. Then you hope for more. It's a 4-on-4 to a power play off Girard. And it's 2-2. He helped set up the power play goal by Wyatt Johnston, the game winner, to make it 3-2. And after Sagan chips it off the boards, it's all over. This is Mikko Rantanen's night. And the Moose has 3 and a helper in the third period. And Dallas moves on to the second round.
He had 4 points in the second period of Game 6. Tying the NHL record for points in one period in a playoff game. Hintz also had 4 points in the same period, the only teammates ever to do that. And now he has 4 points in a period again. 3 goals, a hat trick in the third period, and he assisted on the Johnston power play goal that gave them the lead.
How about Pete DeBoer now, 9-0 in Game 7. 9-0, you can't do that, except he's just done it. His undermanned Dallas Stars team, a remarkable Game 7, third
He's the only
period
player
performance.
or coach who's won 9 Game 7s in NHL history. And he's 9-0. And on his way to the second round with an incredible come-from-behind win. The final goal into the empty net, Rantanen, his third of the game, third of the period, 5th of the series from Sagan and Lindell. Shocking when Colorado traded him. Equally stunning when Carolina moved him on after a month and a half, deciding they couldn't sign him. Dallas got him at the deadline. Immediately signed him an 8-year, $96 million deal, and he has earned every penny. Emily's with Mikko Rantanen.
Mikko, you guys are down 2-0 in the third period. You score a hat trick against your former team to win the Game 7. Just describe what you're feeling.
Yeah, really, no words to describe. You know, the belief in the group. You know, the whole team of ours. You know, there was no quit at any point. You know, I think obviously they get a goal first shift of the third, but we just kept going. You know, there was still chatter on the bench, and we knew we got to earn a couple bounces, and we did, and big win. So I'm happy for the group.
What was it like for you going through that handshake line?
So, excuse me, sorry.
What was it like for you going through that handshake line?
Emotional, they're my brothers, I still love every one of them, obviously we were enemies in the series on the ice, but they're my dear friends off the ice, so it was emotional, and I love every one of them.
This was such a battle, two of the best teams in the West. What do you think it does for you guys to have a series like this so early in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it prepares us for it because it's only going to get harder, obviously I think how the standings goes, and sometimes really good teams play on the first round even though maybe they shouldn't, but I think it prepares us well, and now we already have a 7-game series, so we know if another one comes what to do.
And after the year you've had, what's the most satisfying part about this?
Just to win the series, and this team has been so close a couple years in a row, and hopefully I can help them get even closer.
Well, congratulations, Kitos.
Thank you very much.